𝙍𝙬𝙖𝙡 Music Posse for starting us off and welcoming all of you, social friends, whether you are local social friends, connections to myself, my co-host Greg, and of course, we've got a special guest who was kind enough to join us tonight, who was kind enough to commit to joining us tonight. So you will hear, see, and feel what he's all about in a few minutes. So with all of that said, let me get my co-host Greg into tonight's conversation and make sure he is ready to roll. So Greg, let's make sure you are ready to roll. Your fan base is going to be calling your name. Greg's fans, let's give him a big round of applause to welcome him into the studio. All right, Greg, especially that fan. All right, Greg.
Hey, Bill, how are you? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I said especially that fan where he was doing some kind of like contorted, rah.
Yeah, I think that was actually one of my clients.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. Probably one of your first time homebuyer clients in or near Bolingbrook, Naperville, or Aurora, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So my first question to you is this, because I know we've spoken at least once or twice today. Mm-hmm. How was your swing?
How was my what?
Your swing.
Oh, yeah. Went golfing just to the driving range. It needs a lot of work. And my son has never played before, so we've been just going to the range. But we went in and talked to a coach or a teacher, and he might be taking some lessons soon.
Oh,
that's good. We want to get out there this year and play some golf. That's our goal.
Good. Yeah, that's good. It was a little chilly today, right?
It wasn't bad at all. No. The last 2 weeks we've been going, and it's been cold and windy, and today was actually pretty nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you're trying to get Gavin bitten with the golf bug, huh?
Yes, absolutely. It's a fun game, and it's something you can join through life, enjoy through, as you get older. So
true. Now I know besides golf, you're a tennis player, right?
Mm-hmm.
So does your tennis swing help you with your golf swing, or does it hurt you?
The only way that it helps is the fact that in any sport that you play, and I tell this to my son, it's all about weight distribution. So it doesn't matter if you swing a baseball bat, a golf club, or a tennis racket. It's all about shifting the weight from one foot to the next. And for the longest time in golf, I didn't know that. And I'm hitting the ball off my back foot, not knowing why the ball's not going up. But once I learned the weight distribution, everything came into place. So.
Do you think golf is more of a mentally challenging game, much more so than tennis?
Absolutely not.
No,
you think about
even, huh?
I played several tennis matches where it was all just a mental game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Where your opponent was what, like psyching you out and all that kind of stuff, huh?
Yeah, either that or just your own head. It's your own. It's a big mind game.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So let's now use those two words, mind game, and let's tie it to the business that you're in, which is real estate. Talk to us about that. What is the mind game right now when it comes to selling and or buying real estate?
The mind game right now. So we're in really goofy, funny times in real estate. It's a, I don't know how to describe it, but we've never been here before. And the last 4 years kind of led up to where we're at right now, where it's very difficult. So there's very few sellers on the market. There's actually right now few buyers as well, as the interest rates are going up. So it is definitely a mind game. I've actually talked to a couple of realtors just in the last couple of days where they're, talking to me about the challenges that they're having in real estate and how to keep their spirits high, their mind high, because you really need to be in a really good mental space when you're in real estate in today's market. It's not for what do they call it? The faint heart or whatever.
Yeah, faint of heart, right.
Yeah, yeah. So it's definitely a mind game. So you're constantly having to focus on the goals that you want, what you want to accomplish. And no matter what, just keep moving in that direction, because it's very easy in today's market with maybe transactions that are falling through, low sales because the market overall is down. It's very easy to be swung down into that category, and you just need to stay focused.
True, true. So as it relates to real estate in or near the Bolingbrook area, what I think I'm hearing is the hurdle, the speed bump of tight inventory still exists, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Would you say, though, even though there's tight inventory, the buyers who are ready and willing, they're able to find good values, right?
The prices are still pretty high right now, but the homes are sitting on the market a little bit longer than they were. Okay. So they have more of an opportunity today to be able to find a better deal than maybe they had yesterday.
Got it.
Just because the homes are sitting on the market longer.
Okay. All right. Well, let me share with you within the past week a story. Maybe this will resonate with you. A story with one of my buyer clients. My buyer client is rate locked into one of those, guess what, low rate mortgages on their current home, right?
Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Somewhat to my surprise, they have decided, you know what, that's not so important to us. We've got a life event. We're ready for a next chapter. Correct. So very quickly, we approved them for financing their next home purchase. And what I learned is they wrote an offer on a property. All right. And my kind of lesson learned is after the offer was written, I had a conversation with a listing broker. And guess what, Greg? The listing broker, it seemed to me, just was not firing on all 6 or 8 cylinders, getting maybe the offer to the seller.
Okay.
And then within 48 hours, my buyers terminated their offer.
Oh, really? Yeah. That happens.
They had buyer's remorse.
Okay. Yeah. But that's probably okay, because if they truly had buyer's remorse, it's better to kill the deal now before it gets accepted, before you mark it contingent. Right. So I would rather have it die soon than later on. Yeah. Because there's nothing more frustrating than a week later, the buyer say, I'm getting a little, nervous and I want to cancel. It's like, because now you got to take it from contingent back to the active, status. Yeah.
So anyway, just a little real life lesson learned that I wanted to share with you. So bottom line, social friends, there is activity going on out there. Not everyone that might be low rate locked is kind of staying put and saying, I'm not going anywhere. The reason why is because, well, Greg, life happens.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's true. The life events is really what's pushing the sellers, and the buyers to make a transaction. Before, 2020, before everything kind of went sideways, we had a lot of sellers that were selling just because they wanted to live over here, or just because they wanted a little bit of a bigger home. Right. So we don't have as much as that. We have more of, we just had 3 more kids. We need a big home. Right. Or, we need to move, or they had a death in the family or something like that, and we have to sell. So
Right.
the life events are still driving the transactions, and there's a little bit less of the transactions of people that want to do it just to do it.
That's true. That's true. Now let's pivot our conversation to a question I'm sure you get all the time,
Uh-huh.
and that is whether it be from a seller or maybe even a buyer. But let's keep it simple. Let's start with when you are doing the dance with a seller. That
Okay.
question, that question I'm sure you get would be, so Greg, by the way, I'm just role playing with you, paraphrasing. So Greg,
Yes.
why you? Why should you? Why can you help me? How do you answer that question?
How can I help you? So when you're asking me that, I'm guessing you're asking what is my selling proposition or what
Yeah,
makes me different from the other agents.
absolutely.
Believe it or not, that's a great question. And that is a question that is not asked too much. I've asked other agents about what makes them different, and it's usually deer in the headlights. And usually it is. I've heard a lot of people say, well, I've been in the industry, this is what I do for my listings. But my selling proposition, when I go to talk to a seller, I don't even wait for them to ask what my selling proposition is. I come out and I tell them what my selling proposition is ahead of time. And it's not it's not my 20 years as an agent or, that I'm in the top 5% or whatever it is. It's not that I focus on. I look at it as an opportunity to come in and offer options for the sellers, because that's something that most agents don't do. They come in and they do a listing presentation. They say, this is what your house is worth. I put it on the market and we could do these few things.
Yeah.
What I focus on is different options for them. So I have some sellers, believe it or not, that don't want to put their home on the market, want to sell it really quick. I have cash options that I can bring in to the closing presentation and give them 2 cash options. I have another option where we can, if you want, decide to buy a house first and then sell your current home.
Right.
And those are very viable options, especially in the market that we're in today.
Yeah.
I have options where the seller can actually take an advance of $50,000 cash, 0% interest for the next 90 days to be able to put into their home. So if they need new flooring, if they need new carpet, hardwood, paint jobs, anything like that, they can get that stuff down without the money coming out of their pocket. And then I do have the traditional, this is what I do when I list your home. But even when I go to list their home, I have options. I have options for a seller that doesn't want to do anything, that just says, hey, bring in all your people, bring in your house cleaner, bring in I want a pre-home inspection, I want all this stuff. But then I have options where sometimes the sellers they want to save as much money as possible.
Sure.
And they don't want the bells and whistles. They don't want the 360 tour, the drone shots, all the advertising online. They just say, hey, just get it on the market, take some photos, list it, but I want a reduced price. And I have that option too. So when I go to a listing presentation, I have a smorgasbord of different options that they can choose from. And I think that is what makes probably me different as a listing agent, more so than the guy down the street.
Yeah. And you have nailed it on its head, which is selling a home, buying a home, making that life event move. It is, and it can be time consuming, and it can be stressful. So the fact that
Absolutely, yeah.
you've laid out, your menu of options.
Yeah. So like you said, some people don't even want to clean and show their home. Well, here's a cash option. Now, I will say this. Does every form of convenience come with a price? Absolutely.
Yes, of course.
So these are just options. I lay them out and say, pick one.
Yeah. There is that cliche. There are 3 things that we all want, and we want it either good, fast, or cheap. you can't get all three. At best, you'll get two of the three, right?
Mhm.
So I like how you answer this important question, like I mentioned, that you get from your seller clients. By the way, social friends, that's all of you someday.
Yeah.
And that is, hey, so Greg, why should I commit to you? So spot on in answering that question. By the way, stay tuned, social friends. I'm going to attempt to answer that question in my own way later on in today's live stream. But with all of that said, let's now set the stage for welcoming our guest in tonight's live stream. Our guest is a close friend, a connection of Greg's. That's how we were able to, guess what? Twist his arm to get his time on a Wednesday evening to join us. So, what is it that your friend does? Let me tease all of you social friends as to what you should expect. This guy knows this stuff. Yep, he knows this stuff and more. So, with all of that said, let's bring in Matt into the conversation. How are you, Matt?
Good. How are you guys?
Matt, good.
So
So,
thanks for
Matt,
having me on.
you're very welcome. So, Matt, I'm gonna get you warmed up with a fastball,
All
right?
right.
I'm gonna pitch it hard and fast to you out of the gate. That question that I asked Greg, why him? Why you? I'm gonna ask the same question to you.
Oh, that's an easy one to answer. So there's a million floor stores out there. You can buy floors at box stores. You can buy floors anywhere.
Yep.
What we do is we have the goal of offering you guys a floor that we can pretty much guarantee is going to last you 20 years. And
Wow.
it's all based around what flooring is actually needed for the home, for the situation, for the family. Do you have kids? Do you have pets? Do you have a pool? Do you have a walker? Do you have a wheelchair? If you ask the questions, you can find the right answers to get people the proper flooring that's going to last, for the test of time.
Right. Yeah. And by the way, for all of us who are humans, dog parents, pet parents, we all know this one.
Oh, that's a nice one.
You got to get the right flooring solution. I'm so glad you teed it up that way. You got to get the right flooring solution that will last, low maintenance, and also easy to clean. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a busy world we live in nowadays, and durability and easy clean is high priority on everybody's list.
Yep. Spot on. Spot on. Now, I think I know this. When it comes to flooring, if you take your typical household, your typical home, whether it be in the suburbs or in the city, it seems like fast forward to now, across the entire home, there's a multitude of choices. No one seems to have the same type of flooring throughout the home. There's like what I call two words, mixed media, right?
Yeah, and like what you absolutely want to avoid, just as a pro tip, is seeing three different floors from one location.
Ah, like that.
So
Okay.
that's a tough one. But there's misconceptions out there, and it's people are trying to sell people anything just to sell them on something.
Yeah.
It really boils down to what lasts the longest for the customer. Like, we're not going to offer a family that has 4 kids, 3 dogs, a cat, and a chicken to put hardwood in their house. Like, it's just not going to hold up. It's not going to
Right.
last.
Right.
So we'll use a waterproof vinyl plank that we can take the abuse. And what's the worst case scenario? They scratch a plank, which very rarely happens. We can easily change it out. No mess, no stain. It's a quick change. You don't have to scream and yell at the kids. It's the most modern, most durable product on the market.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, what about those households who may be building a custom home? You and I and Greg know this, right? And that is, one of the biggest costs of building a custom home is, of course, the interior finishes. as
Sure.
illustrated by this little visual aid here. So from your business, I get the impression you also offer a lot of choices and solutions, correct?
We do. It's more a matter of, again, though, what works best. Like, we don't let somebody come in and look at whatever they want, but you have to answer the questions in order to find the right flooring. And the problem is people don't even know the answers to their own questions because nobody's ever asked them the questions before.
That's true. Yeah. Do you ever encounter the situation from a client where they want new flooring, but they don't know what they want?
Um, yes and no. You get the people that more, I guess, better way to answer that is people that think they want something but don't have any idea what it costs would maybe be a
Oh,
better way to look at that. I think when
yeah,
somebody wants a new floor, they know they want a new floor.
yeah,
They just don't have any idea of the cost of whether it's the product or the installation or even the process it's going to take to get it done.
yeah, yeah. I hear you. Greg, uh,
Yes.
you can appreciate that, right?
Yep.
People want a new home, but sometimes they don't know what it costs or the reality of today's cost or value, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you. So tell us a little bit more about your business, Matt. Maybe drop some information as to what areas you serve. Where are you located? Do you have a showroom?
Uh-oh.
Oh, I think we lost you, Matt. Are you still there?
You scared him away.
Or maybe he's got some late in the day customers ringing the doorbell at his showroom. What do you think, Greg?
Yeah, it could be. I tell you what, I was down at his showroom about 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and I couldn't have been more impressed with his operation and his showroom. He
Okay.
had so much to choose from in terms of flooring, all different kinds of laminates, all different kinds of hardwood. And then he had all this carpeting that was beautiful. There he is. He's back.
There he is.
I'm back. I don't know. You know.
I was just talking about how I was down at your showroom, and I couldn't have been more impressed with the layout and the amount of options and choices that you had. I mean, it was just you have a beautiful warehouse there,
Oh,
showroom.
I appreciate it. I think maybe so many people were watching us, it just glitched out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Or as I was saying to Greg, maybe you've got some late in the day customers ringing the doorbell at your showroom saying, Matt, we finally decided, and oh, by the way, we changed our mind. We want this other stuff.
Yeah. To answer your question before we got disconnected, I kind of told you a little bit about this. Our entire goal is to give people a 20-year floor, whether you pick carpet, tile, LVP, laminate. I mean, obviously, we can't do that with hardwood because we can't control what goes on in the house, but that's what truly makes us different is our goal is to give you a long lasting floor. We never want you to come back and tell us, oh, we're having problems 3, 4, 5 years later. We want you to come back because 12 years from now you just want to change the color of your floor or you
Yeah.
want to do another room in your house. This entire business is based on quality, not quantity. Prep work is incredibly important. Your floor is only as good as what's underneath it. So we just try really hard. Everybody that works with us specializes in what they do. Our carpet guys, they only do carpet. That's all they know how to do. Our tile guys only do tile. Our wood guys only do wood. And our LVP guys only do LVP. We're not crossing back and forth, having one installer doing 3, 4, 5 different kind of jobs. Everybody specializes in exactly what they do.
And I
There
think
you
that's a
have
great thing. And I will say this, I have seen a lot of floors that people put down, and obviously that the homeowner put it down himself
it. Yeah.
because you're wondering, is that a pencil under this floor over here? It's bubbling up. It's what is going on with that? I have a question, if you don't mind,
Sure.
Matt. If you were building a $2 million home,
Okay.
okay, what type of flooring would you specifically desire to put in there?
I have to ask you the same question. Is it for me and my wife that are 60, or is it for a young family that has
Oh,
3 kids and 2
Yeah.
dogs?
Okay. How about young family with kids and 2 dogs and a cat and a chicken, I think you said.
I would use a premium LVP that's a 1/2 inch thick. It feels, it looks, and acts just like hardwood, but
Okay.
gives you the waterproof and durability for the kids and the pets.
And I will say that I just went to a $2.2 million house in Naperville. They had to open a broker tour for it, and that's what they had in there, and it looked absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it's come a long way. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
the word vinyl has been scary in the industry
Yep.
for years because of past floors, but it's not even vinyl. Like, here's just a little tidbit of information. It's more of an engineered vinyl than it is a pure vinyl.
Yeah. And when you say durability, I'm gonna guess meaning it's less prone to getting scratched, dinged, and so forth, right?
Absolutely. But what destroys floors more than anything is water, animal accidents, kids spilling drinks, moisture. The scratching, yeah, don't get me wrong, it happens,
Yeah.
but spills and moisture and animal accidents are what destroy floors the quickest and the fastest.
That's so true. That's so true.
Now, Matt, you're the owner of the company, right?
Correct.
Is there any way you can kind of scan so we could take a look at your? I would love to see that. I don't know if that's possible.
Oh, wow. Take a look at that, people.
Yeah, and that's just a small section of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
this is the main section. We got our carpet and tile room off to the left and the right.
Okay.
Yeah.
What areas of greater Chicagoland do you serve?
Oh, I mean, we'll go within reason, generally about an hour in any direction from Mokina, which I-80 and LaGrange is a good thing to do. Like, we do jobs up in Wheaton, we do jobs in Northwest Indiana. I mean, we're, within reason. We pretty much go, we have a large service area.
Yeah,
And I like to make the joke for people out your way that we have south of I-80 pricing.
It's sad that we know what that means.
Yeah, it is sad that we know what that means. Yeah. So, social friends, especially one of my social friends, Brandon, if you're watching tonight's live stream, watching it live or as an on-demand recording, Matt might be someone you want to know and reach out to. And for Greg's friends, sellers and buyers, yeah, sounds like Matt is going to be a valued resource for all of you who may be buying a home that's a little dated and you need a major refresh, or if you may be selling at some point and you need to refresh it because
if you need 50 grand 50 grand up front, we got you covered.
You got that covered. because the 50 grand up front is gonna produce 100 grand in profit with Greg's fingerprint on it, right?
Yeah.
That is absolutely what should happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So, gentlemen, thank you for sharing your time tonight in this live stream episode of Real Living in Bolingbrook. Matt, a pleasure having you as our guest, especially to talk about something that's so important. And you said it spot on, which is do it right the first time, do it right for life. And it sounds like it resonates with Greg Vandenbroek's answer to that important question. Why me? Because you want to get it done right. So love that. Social friends, how can you engage any one of us in a conversation? Because you've got a life event that needs the right answer to why you, Greg, why you, Bill, and why you, Matt. All you need to do is simply scan the QR codes that you see here, one for Greg, one for myself. And as to how to get a hold of Matt, well, it's easy. You can Google search his business, or if you're not capable of doing that, just scan our QR codes. We'll actually broker a conversation so that you can have a direct relationship with Matt Pear, the owner operator of The Floor for You. That's it, social media friends. Let me ask my music posse to play us out. Greg and I will see you in the next episode 4 weeks out. Here we go, social friends and music posse. Let's play us out.